Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 things we would love to see in the next Batman Arkham game. If we ever get another one, that is. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. An idea that every Arkham game kind of teased was the ability to play as one of the villains. Sure, you could play as Joker, Harley, Catwoman, Red Hood, and Deathstroke across the games, however, these moments were often restricted to Riddler's challenge maps, or, in Catwoman's case with Arkham City, very specific and very seldom story beats in the main campaign.
There's some kind of fight going on over there!
And before anyone says anything in the comments, yes, we do remember the Harley Quinn story pack that was added as paid DLC for Arkham Knight. But let's be real, is 10 or 15 minutes really long enough to call it a campaign? Why not do 2/3 of Batman and then maybe 1/3 as the villain?
Okay, donut dunkers, you gonna bring Ivy to me, or am I gonna have to get her myself?
Back to basics. Speaking of Arkham Knight, one of the biggest problems the game had was bloat. As cool as it was flying and gliding around Gotham City, getting from one destination to the next was more of a hassle than it needed to be. On top of that, most of the side missions felt uneventful and lacking in depth, causing each of their endings to feel anticlimactic to say the least.
Tonight, this stinking city will be purified by flame!
Follow Firefly, time a single input to disarm the road mine, fight the Knight's militia for the 100th time. Perhaps the next Arkham game needs to just reel it in a bit. Give us a world at the same size as Asylum and City, where there's plenty to do in quick succession, and not like we're trying to get from one end of Disney World to the other. And also, just give us more fun things to do. Really, all those side missions in Arkham Knight, really boring, man. Dismantled traversal.
I've lost the drone!
While we're on the subject of keeping things exciting and simple, we need to address the Batmobile. While the gameplay itself was fun in its own way, we wanted Batmobile chases like the ones we saw in the 1989 movie, not tank combat with supposed non-lethal bullets.
Mama's been hit!
Honestly, it calls into question the necessity of including the Dark Knight's vehicles when they can each potentially dampen the gameplay. Do we honestly need the Batmobile, the Batwing, the Batboat, the Batcycle, or the Batcopter if it is going to severely bring things to a crawl? Do we honestly need any of these vehicles if it's going to detract from what makes a Batman video game a Batman video game? Probably not. Besides, gliding and skydiving is what made traversal fun in each of the Arkham games. A sign of the times. It's safe to say that the Arkham trilogy from Rocksteady does not need another prequel, sequel, spin-off, or what have you. If the Arkham franchise is to continue with the new Rocksteady staff, maybe we should be open to the idea of the next game taking place in a completely different time period with a completely different Batman. Just look at some of the recent animated DC movies for inspiration. You got Gotham by Gaslight and Batman Ninja, both of which could serve as perfect blueprints for a new Arkham game set in a Victorian Gotham or Japan. Or Rocksteady could adapt a famous Batman storyline in their own way. Have Joker take over a massive amusement park, he renames it Arkham Park or Arkham World, give a handful of villains their own section of the park like in Arkham City, and then base the central story off of the Killing Joke. And hey, you could tie in playable segments that take you through Joker's past life when he was a floundering comedian turned criminal. Making the most of your day.
There's nothing the cops can do that we won't know about, including every time Gordon uses you as his errand boy.
One interesting thought we've seen floating around the Arkham fanbase is the possibility of daytime gameplay. We're so used to Batman games taking place strictly at night, but what could an Arkham game look like if we had segments where we play as Bruce Wayne during the day? Bruce could conduct investigations when crime isn't running rampant, talk with allies about their findings, question suspects, and more.
Well, then I guess congratulations are in order. It's nice to know you'll be the one trapped in this tiny office all day.
Oh, I'm sure it's bigger than it looks.
On paper, it probably doesn't sound interesting, but if executed in a way better than Insomniac did with 2018 Spider-Man with the puzzle-focused Peter Parker segments, maybe this could wind up being a nice change of pace from the action.
I did what I felt was right.
Yeah, well, someone has to. I just didn't think it'd be you.
First, there was fear. If there was anything interesting that Arkham Knight introduced, it was the fear mechanic. If you managed to take out enough enemies without being seen, you could take down multiple enemies in a way that really made you feel like the Dark Knight. Not to sound like every review of a superhero game. But ultimately, there wasn't much purpose outside of that. Yes, it made fights easier, however, we would like to see a fear system that can be used not just for chaining takedowns in close proximity, but one that can be used on gadgets. Maybe each gadget has a unique condition or ability that causes enemy devices to malfunction beyond repair, or corrode armor, or cause guns to jam permanently. Just a few ideas, feel free to take them, Rocksteady. Dynamic duo gameplay.
How are you holding up?
I'm fine. I don't need your concern. Just your help getting this thing off.
One idea that Arkham Knight visited a couple of times was the idea of a co-op partner. There were some fights in Arkham Knight that would show Batman fighting alongside Catwoman or Robin or some other ally, and the player would have the ability to switch between the two characters mid-fight and even execute team-up attacks while switching.
Be my guest.
Unfortunately, co-op has never been a full commitment for the series for one reason or another. Recent modern games like LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga and the various games from Hazelight Studios like Split Fiction and It Takes Two show that there is a ton of potential to be had in co-op game design. Neither player needs the same toolkit, and when kept distinct, both players can find their own fun with unique mechanics. So what's stopping Rocksteady from taking cues from those games?
Be my guest.
Racing the clock. Before you freak out, no, we are not saying that we want more Riddler time trials. Those were simply unbearable. Neat, but unbearable for a Batman game. No, what we think would be cool for a new Arkham game is the idea of trying to beat the game within the span of a single night. Think Majora's Mask and how you were given 3 days to save Hyrule before the moon destroys the world. Or maybe Deathloop, where you relived the same 24 hours until you found the way to kill every target before the day's end. Arkham Asylum had a similar length. Game starts off late into the night and lasts long enough to lead into the early morning. But what if we had 10 to 12 hours from sunset to sunrise to foil the villain's plans? and those hours would count down in real time whenever you booted up your save file. This alone could be the shot in the arm that the franchise desperately needs right now. A place to call home. Alongside the idea of daytime gameplay, another idea we've seen floating around the community is the idea of the Batcave. While Asylum did give us a Batcave conveniently located beneath Arkham Asylum itself, it wasn't the Batcave we were wanting.
The formula is missing. That must be the secret Dr. Young is hiding. If Joker gets his hands on this, he will create an army of 1,000 Banes.
Why not give the player a Batcave with massive training courses and simulations, a flexible laboratory to configure gadgets with different properties for brand new playstyles, and maybe a computer to conduct investigations, look at dossiers, and more? Yes, we can understand the convenience of delegating all of this to simple menus as we've grown accustomed to. Still, this could be a neat little novelty to have.
My God, is Joker crazy enough to do that? What am I saying? You've got to stop him.
To Batman Beyond, but not Infinity.
No! Don't!
If there is one thing almost everybody wants to see in a new Arkham game, it's the integration and reintroduction of Batman Beyond. Look, we got 3 great games that were heavily inspired by Batman the Animated Series. If there is anything Rocksteady can do to hopefully prove its new staff's ability to create fun games, it's to tackle a new era of Batman.
Who do you think you're talking to, old man? We're the Jokers!
Sure you are.
Bring back Terry McGinnis, bring in Max Gibson to replace Alfred, and let the player fight Blight, Shriek, Willie Watt, Spellbinder, and the Royal Flush Gang. But Rocksteady, do not bring in the Jokers. We have had enough of the Clown Prince of Crime. And whatever you do not take the title literally. Just because Beyond is in the title of Batman Beyond does not mean we should open the doors for DLC expansions and live service updates. Keep it simple, keep it fun, and keep it single player. And bring back Paul Dini to write the story. He's the reason why Asylum and City are so fantastic.
Come on! You gotta help me!
What would you like to see happen in a new Arkham game? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.
Why?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.